Welcome back, Raider Nation and my champions. This is Eric, and we got some hot and heavy news regarding Derek Carr and a potential move to the New Orleans Saints. So let's get right to that. Now, the big news is, of course, is that Derek Carr has been given permission by the Raiders to talk to the Saints in particular. Now, they normally do not do this with players. However, it looks like behind the scenes, the Raiders and the Saints have been talking and have possibly agreed in principle to a compensation for the trade. Now, this kind of makes sense on both sides, and we'll get to a possibility of what the compensation was in a minute. But as far as Derek Carr goes, going to the Saints, it makes a lot of sense for a number of reasons, as I've talked about in my previous video way back in December about potential landing spots for Derek Carr, one of which was the New Orleans Saints. The Saints are in arguably the worst division in football, the NFC South. Tom Brady is out. Atlanta's still kind of in flux, in rebuilding. Carolina did the Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield experiment, and they both failed miserably. They're looking for a quarterback as well. Likely we'll get a rookie quarterback in the draft. Plus, the Saints are a playoff type caliber team that can get into the postseason. Not only that, of course, he's going to be reunited with his old buddy, that is Mr. Sharpie himself, Dennisallen, who is the head coach of the Saints. As it is, I think this is probably one of the best landing spots for Derek Carr. Now, as far as compensation goes, there's some speculation. Now, Jeremy Fowler of ESPN, one of the insiders there, has been talking about this, and he's saying that the Raiders are asking prices, quote, pretty modest. One NFL source said third round pick could get it done. And he's saying that the Saints look like the only suitors right now that are at least this far along in the negotiation process. So third round pick, my take on that, I think that would be a steal for the Saints. However, on the Raiders' point of view, they're kind of over a barrel right now as far as leverage. They don't really have a whole lot because they could very well just cut him and get nothing for him. Now, of course, the Saints are going to have to agree to take on that contract and all that, even if it only is a third-round draft choice. Now, will they do that? I think they could. I think this could very well happen. I think it's a good spot for Derek Carr. I think it's a good spot for the Saints and also Raiders. This is kind of looks like a win-win. I'll get into this more once we have more information, probably go live on that. So be sure to like and subscribe so you'll be notified of all of our future live streams.
When you have great coaches, then after you have great coaches, you get great players. You have a great organization, and you tell them one thing. Just win, baby.